Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I am starting some seeds indoors under lights. It is exactly 8 weeks until May 24th. Here in Canada, that's the May long weekend, where hordes of people will descend on the garden centers like a plague of locusts. It is exactly 6 weeks until my official last frost date, which where I live is May 10th. Those 2 weeks between May 10th and May 24th are a very precarious time. It's impossible to know what the weather will bring. A hailstorm in May? Welcome to my part of the world. But there are a few very brave plants who don't mind the cold at all, like lettuce and kale. Step 1. And how does it get attached? Why start seeds indoors at all instead of just waiting till the weather warms up and planting the seeds outdoors in your garden? I only have about 3.5 to 4 good months of gardening season where the cold of winter is ending and the cold of fall starts up again. The sooner in the season I'm able to start harvesting, the more food I can grow in that short period of time. I'm not wasting those warm weeks at the beginning of the season when a plant could be producing food, but it's still too immature. You gotta know when to quit and get help. When I start my seeds, I usually use this seed starting mix. The difference between this and soil is this is very light and fluffy, and it doesn't have a lot of nutrition in it because the seeds don't need that. I'm just going to use this container of Jiffy Pot cells because this is what I have. I've used this for several years now. It's not the greatest because the plastic is so thin and it does rip eventually, but I'm just going to keep reusing it and reusing it as long as I can. And a good idea is to give these a wash out before you use them so you're not spreading bacteria. I've even been saving these little plastic containers. You can't even buy a fruit or vegetable anymore without them encasing it in plastic. And this all goes into my recycling bin. So I've been saving them. They have holes on the bottom already, and they even have a little lid on that will keep the seeds moist.
I'm going to make a stew.
I'm going to pour water into the bottom of this tray and wait a few minutes until they have sucked up all the water. This growing medium is so dry. It's a mixture of peat moss and coconut fiber. So I'm also going to put some water on the top. Pour my extra water in here. Start sowing with it, splash. Start with the tomatoes and the peppers. And what I'm doing this year is I'm going to be doing something called cluster planting. And to each one of these, I'm going to be planting about maybe 10 to 20 seeds. And after they've grown on a little bit, I'm going to divide them up and plant them into their own pot. I'm always very careful how I open my plant packages so I don't cut off any of the information I need. So I'll start here. So I'm going to put that right in there. You really want to make sure that you do put the name of the seed on a little stick, because all tomato seedlings look pretty much exactly the same. You won't know what you have. All right, the moment of truth. I've been reading the back of my seed packets. On some of the lettuce, it tells me right here very clearly at the top to direct seed only. So you're not to start them indoors. You're supposed to wait till after your last frost and plant them directly in your garden. It's really important that you read the back of all your seed packets, because there's a lot of really important information back there. It's a really good idea about 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost. Go through your seed packets, read when they want to be planted, and divide them up accordingly. All right, so in addition to the tomatoes and the kale and the peppers and the eggplant, I also went through all my seed packets and I saw a few annual flowers that needed to be started at this time. So I went ahead, I sowed some tithonia, some zinnias, and a few other annual flowers, and also some ornamental grasses, which should have been sown 10 to 12 weeks early. So I'm not sure how those are going to turn out, but I went for it anyway.